go, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Mash down, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about 3 things that you might not know about TradingView that makes my life easier doing my technical analysis every single day. Now, we do have a TradingView tutorial. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you may remember that. If you have not seen that video yet, I will link it in a card right here above. Definitely go check out that video before watching this one. We just covered the basics in that video, and then in this video, I'm gonna show you guys a couple of different tips and tricks that really help me save time when doing my analysis every single day. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of these great tutorials or urgent market updates that we upload to the channel. So we're going to be going over my top 3 tips when using TradingView that help me save time and stay organized. If you guys are anything like me, when I first started out, I found that a lot of my lines over time would get very cluttered, whether they're support and resistance levels, trend lines, channels, Fibonacci retracements, whatever it is. You'll know if you've been looking at the charts for a while and taking your stab at TA, you will know that after a certain amount of time, you just kind of get cluttered and you don't even know which lines are which, and everything is so zigzagged. It basically looks like a spider web and you can't make out what anything is. And I always say, if your chart looks like this, then you probably should declutter your chart. And then naturally, the next question people ask me is like, well, what if I need that trend line down the road? In this video, I'm going to show you guys how I'm able to keep my charts simple and organized while also keeping all of my trend lines and all of my support and resistance levels and all my TA and drawings saved on my chart, but not always showing. I'm also going to show you guys a couple of different features that you might not know about TradingView that are very cool. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the computer. I'm going to show you guys where to find all these features and how I specifically use them to keep myself organized when I'm drawing all these lines and doing all this TA on the daily. Let's get into it. So here we are on TradingView. Obviously, like I said, if you've been looking at the charts or even checked out our first tutorial video on TradingView, you will be very familiar with what you're seeing right here. And if you have not seen that original video, or you are not familiar with what you're seeing right here, definitely go watch that video that I linked above. The first thing on our list, guys, is going to be the object tree. You're going to want to come over to the right-hand side of your chart and scroll all the way down, and you will see the second to last icon right above this help center question mark. You will see object tree multi-select drawing tools, right? So you're going to want to click this and it will open up your object tree. Now, if you don't have any drawings on your chart, you will obviously have nothing in your object tree. You will just have the candles and any indicators that you have running. Once you start drawing channels and trend lines and support and resistance levels or what have you, you will start to build some things inside of your object tree. Now you will see if I go ahead and select my brush tool, every time I make a brush stroke, you can see that it pops up in the object tree, right? Every single line that I draw pops up in the object tree, as you can see coming down the list right here. So this is an amazing way to keep your chart organized, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. If we come over to the chart that I use a little more often, you can see in my object tree, if we open it up here, I actually have folders. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn everything on my object tree on, and I'm going to show you what a nightmare my chart turns into. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn on the this little eye icon for every single thing on this chart, and you can see it starts to get overwhelming pretty dang quick, right? There's no way to tell what is what, and I would argue that all these trend lines being on your chart is basically useless, right? Like, where are the support and resistance levels? Like, if this is what your chart looks like, you need to simplify it. There is no way to make sense of this chart. You need to declutter. Too much information is bad information. So if your chart looks like this and for a lot of beginners, their charts do wind up looking like this. So if your chart does look like this, don't feel like you're doing anything wrong, but just understand that you are going to get lost in these lines. And when you have so many levels here, it's kind of hard to make out what is what. And so if we come back to our object tree here, I'm actually going to re-hide all of this stuff. Just going to undo all of that. But we're going to come back to our object tree, and I'm going to kind of show you how I attack this, right? So typically what I do when I find my support and my resistance levels, what I do is I separate them into weekly levels, daily levels, and then I have a folder for spider lines, golden pockets, and volume levels, right? Or volume profiles. So this is a really, really easy way to keep your chart organized. So this way, when I come to my chart and say I'm looking at the 4-hour chart and, I'm just looking here. I know there's some random drawings here that are not in a folder. Let's say I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame and I want to see where my daily support and resistance levels are. I can turn them on and you can see that now, we're not super cluttered here, right? I have a clear daily level here, which we've been holding and rejecting from, so that's a clear level. And then we have another daily level here. You can see we've been rejected, and then we had support and support. Then if I want to go to a lower time frame and maybe I want to take a look at the spider lines, but I don't want to see those daily levels, I can go ahead and turn those daily levels off. So now I'm just seeing the spider lines. I'm going to go ahead and delete this this local golden pocket just to clear things up, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off this moving average. But now I'm looking at the spider lines, and this is just much cleaner to look at, right? I don't have a 1,000 different levels here that I'm just like, where is price actually sticking to? It's just overwhelming. So now we're just looking at the spider lines. And then if I wanted to throw something in like weekly levels, which there are none in this area, but we'll turn back on the daily support levels. And I'm like, okay, well, we actually have some confluence between this daily level and the spider lines. I could turn on my volume profiles, which again, there are none here. But you can just kind of select what you want to look at. Maybe I want to look at my golden pockets. Where are my local golden pockets? I'm actually going to come to the daily chart to kind of give you guys a better idea here. And then you can see, right, I have the golden pockets folder. I can unhide my golden pockets, and you can see I have this macro golden pocket pops up here, and then I have a couple of other golden pockets that I've pulled in the past that pop up here, right? So this just gives you the option to turn on and off things, right? Typically, I do look at spider lines a lot when I'm looking at my charts, but they don't need to be there all the time. So it's really good to be able to, and one thing you have to understand is if you open up this spider line folder, is it's filled with a bunch of rays, right? So instead of clicking on each one and trying to hide them, you can just go ahead and put them in a folder here and turn them on and off all together. I can't tell you how much easier this has made my life. So you don't have to keep deleting your spider lines and redrawing them or clicking on them individually, trying to hide them. Even if you're using the object tree, using the folders within the object tree is a tip within the tip, right? And then if you want to, let's say, I'm actually going to get rid of all these brush tools. Let's just go ahead and say that I want to, we've been marking out our bear flags, right? This is not for any particular reason. This is just, I'm trying to find something to draw on the chart. So we had a bear flag right here, right? And then we had another bear flag right here. They all broke down. And now it looks like we're forming somewhat of a bear flag or ascending wedge. I'm just going to call it a bear flag for the argument, for this argument. But let's go ahead. You could see all three of these parallel channels popped up on the object tree as everything does. And what you want to do is you're going to click on one of them. And let's say I wanted to put these all in a folder, right? So I could turn them on and off. Now, this isn't really something you would turn on and off, but maybe it is. You never know, right? It doesn't matter what the thing you're turning on and off is. The important thing is that you want to turn them on and off. So let's just say we have these bear flags, and for whatever reason, we want to be able to hide them all and bring them back up when we want to use them or refer back to them, whatever, or what have you, right? So you're going to want to click on one, and then you can go to your last one and hold down Shift and click down, and it will select all three of these. And then once they are all highlighted in blue, you want to come up here and click the plus, create a group of drawings, right? So it's just a folder with the plus sign. Click on that, and you will see it puts them automatically into a folder. And now instead of having to click this, right, click the bear flag, find it, hide it, click it, find it, hide it, you can just go ahead and hide the entire group, and it brings up your bear flags. It turns them on and off all at the same time. Super, super easy. On top of that, if you want to, you just go ahead and double click on the folder if you want to change it. So we'll just call this bear flags. Again, I don't know why you would want to do this. I'm just using it as an example. But there you go. So now you can drag this all the way down towards your other folders down here. And now you have a bear flag folder, right? So you have your bear flags, your weekly levels, your volume profiles, your spider lines, daily support and resistance, and your golden pockets, right? So I don't always like to look at my golden pockets, so I just turn them off, right? If I want to bring the macro golden pocket back up, I can pull my golden pockets up and it pops up right there. But it's not something I look at every day, right? So most of the time this is off, but if I'm on a live stream or something and I'm talking about how I think price can come up and bearishly retest that golden pocket, I could just open my object tree, find my golden pockets, turn it on, pops up right away, and then I can make my example, right? So object tree and folders, specifically folders within the object tree, is absolutely invaluable when you start using TradingView on a daily basis. And it's absolutely key to staying organized. And it also just helps you keep a clear mind when looking at your charts, not getting overwhelmed by all the different levels you've drawn in the past. And I know sometimes you get attached to the TA that you've done, right? You might find some levels one day and then things get cluttered and you're thinking like, oh, maybe I should delete these levels, but what if they're respected again? I don't want to delete them forever. You can put them all in a folder and turn them on and off with a simple press of a button. Now on to our second TradingView tip that helps me save a ton of time, and that is going to be chart templates. Now, if you're looking at your TradingView chart and you come up to your top bar here where you have all your time frames, your candles, right? You want to come all the way to the right-hand side, and you'll see this little cloud-shaped icon, and mine says GonFan. Yours might say something different, but you're going to want to look for this little cloud with a check mark, and these are your chart layout templates, right? Now, if I drop down the menu here, you'll see I have one for GonFan. Now, this is actually wrongfully named. I used to use this layout for all my GonFan drawings. If you guys don't know what the GonFan is, you can see here, this is a GonFan. I'm not going to draw it accurately, but when you're using the GonFan, there are multiple levels, and they kind of are similar to spider lines where there are a ton of different levels here, and it gets very, very messy. So rather than having this live on my main chart, I had a completely separate layout for it to keep things clean. But this is super, super powerful. You can see here, I also have my cycle chart layout. If I click this, you guys might be familiar if you watch the channel with this chart. This is more of a macro chart that I've made looking into the previous cycles of Bitcoin and measuring certain things. I'm not going to get into the chart, but I'm able to save this chart with all this technical analysis on it without having to worry about it getting messed up, right? Because if I want to look at this or use this on a live stream to explain some things, I can pull this up. If I want to go back to my regular charts to do some normal TA, I can go back to my other layout. And here we are on the last chart we were showing, and it brings it up right here. And I can do my separate TA on this chart without disrupting any of that TA on the other chart. Now, this is really, really useful because what you can do is you can have multiple layouts with different indicators. So what you could do is you can set up each layout for a specific strategy using certain indicators. You could have a market cipher layout, a Lux Algo layout. For me, I have the cycle chart layout. So you can save these and save the templates separately to keep everything separated. Another good example is when I go on the morning show for BitBoy Crypto, I have my own chart layout on Ben's TradingView. That way, when I go up on the show and do my TA, I can show my lines and my TA. And then if he wants to show his TA or his charts, he can just go into the layouts and select his charts, right? So it keeps things separated without having to, make changes on charts that you don't necessarily want to change. So let's say you want to create a new layout. What you can do here is come up to this icon that we were just looking at, and you can go ahead and click on this little drop-down menu, select new layout, and it will bring up a blank chart. Now, I can set this up with any indicators that I choose, right? Let's say I want to use a Lux Algo strategy. I want to set this chart up for our Lux Algo strategy. We could pull up Lux Algo. Maybe we're using the premium oscillators indicator as well. We can set our settings to our liking, and then we can go over to our little icon right here, and you can click right here, and it will save your layout. Now, you can also rename your layout right here. So now we are selected. You could see it is unnamed, but if we go ahead and click on this drop down, you can rename this, and we will call this Lux Algo Strategy. We'll just go Strat for short, and we can save it. So anytime I come, let's say we set our Lux Algo settings for a scalping, the 15-minute specifically. You can title this Lux Algo scalping strategy, and if you're on your chart if you're looking at your normal TA, okay, wow, Bitcoin's going up, Bitcoin's going down, right? Oh, actually, I want to scalp the 15-minute. You can go ahead and come here, click your Lux Algo strategy, close your current chart. It will open up your Lux one that we just saved, and the settings will always be the same. So super, super cool. I really love this because it allows you to basically completely separate all your different charts, right? All my cycle chart that I just showed you guys, I don't ever want that to be incorporated in daily TA. That is updated. I do TA on that chart and look at that chart after a lot of time goes by, right? I don't do any daily analysis on that chart. I want it completely untouched, and I slowly add to it over time. I love the ability to keep that chart completely separate from everything else, and by using the layout template feature on TradingView, this makes it super easy. So you guys can see now I have the Gonfan one, which is basically just my daily TA. I have my cycle charts, that chart I don't want to touch very often, and then we have the Lux Algo strategy, where I would click on that if I was going to scalp, use this scalping settings, right? For example, this is not actually set up for scalping. I'm just using it as an example. But you can have one for short-term TA. You can have one that maybe is more longer-term analysis, where you're kind of looking at the cycles, or you could separate it by strategies. You can do it any way you want, but this feature has been invaluable as well in helping me keep things organized and separated when using TradingView. Now, moving on to our third tip that helps me save time when doing my technical analysis is saving your settings on indicators and tools within TradingView. And a good example of this is with your Fibonacci retracement tool, right? Because if you go ahead and you can save templates on your indicators as well, right? So if you're using a tool such as the Fibonacci retracement, by default, right, your fib might look something like this. But if you're constantly pulling a ton of fib retracements, this could start to get pretty messy on your charts, and I don't really like that. A lot of the times what I do is I will just pull fibs looking for local golden pockets, and when I'm doing that, these other Fibonacci levels are not as important to me. I've actually gone ahead and created a template for golden pockets only, right? So if I'm using the golden pocket only settings on my Fibonacci retracement tool, I can go ahead and pull on my Fibonacci retracement, and you can see it only pulls up the golden pocket. The fact that you can use templates is amazing, because if I did want to actually go ahead and see those other fib levels, I can come down here, click on classic fib, hit OK, and it will pull up the all of the other fib levels when I pull my next fib, right? So you can see I get multiple levels here, and if I want to just pull that local golden pocket only, I can click on here and select golden pocket only. If you want to save, let's say, just for example, let's say you only wanted the 382, the golden pocket, and your 786 fib, you can go ahead and you'll see that it pops up here. You have your 382, your 786, and your golden pocket. If you wanted to save that as a default, you can click right here, hit save as, name it, whatever you want to call it. You can call it, 786 plus golden pocket plus 382, right? Whatever you want to call it, you can call it that and then save it, and it will save it as a default, so you can easily select it in your menu right here. And you can do this with many other tools, such as the paint tool or the brush tool. If I draw a line here and we pull up the settings, let's say you want to easily switch between different colored lines, or maybe you want an arrow on one of your lines and no arrow on another line, you can just go ahead and click here, save as, and you could call this arrow, right? And then if I wanted one with no arrow, I can go ahead and save this as no arrow and click save. So when we pull up our brush tool, if I just wanted to circle something, that's fine. I can see that there is a, there's no arrow here, but say I wanted to point to something, for example, I can just go ahead and open the settings, click my template, click arrow, and then use my brush tool to point to something, and the arrow pops up. It just makes it a lot easier to switch between something, so you don't have to completely change the settings every single time, right? You could just click that default, all your settings that you saved will go back, and it makes things very, very simple. if you guys have made it this far into the video, we're going to go over a really, really cool tip on TradingView that a lot of people I don't think really know about, and that is the trading integration into TradingView. And essentially, if you come down here to trading panel on the bottom of your chart, you can scroll down or expand it here, and you can see that there are a bunch of different exchanges here. You can see there are a bunch of different exchanges here. You even have Gemini right here. Some are for stocks, some are for crypto. But you can essentially click on this. If you have a Gemini account, you can click connect, log into your account, and it will let you trade directly on TradingView. Now, this is super cool because you don't have to keep going back and forth from your exchange to your TradingView account, back to your exchange, checking on your trade. It just brings everything all into one platform, and that is super, super cool. And obviously, they support a bunch of different exchanges here. You have Forex.com, Gemini, those are some of the bigger ones. If you come up here, you'll see the TradingView paper trading. This is another really cool aspect of this feature, and it allows you, this is perfect for beginners who just want to practice trading with taking zero risk. Essentially, what you can do is click on this, you click connect, and boom, you're ready to paper trade with zero risk. And with that, you can basically go ahead and let's say you wanted to, you're looking at the price chart on the 15-minute, you think you're going to come down lower, so you can right click on your chart, click trade, create new order, and you'll see this little window pop up, and it's just like a regular exchange. Now, I personally have not used the TradingView trading feature, hooking up my actual exchanges, but I believe it does work almost exactly the same. You can see this is very similar to any exchange that you use. You pick between a market order, a limit order, a stop order, right? But right now, we'll just do a market order for simplicity, and we'll just say we're gonna, quantity 1, and we'll say we want to short it, right? Because we think it's gonna go down more. So you click sell, and then you click sell one Coinbase, sell one BTC at market. Click OK, and you can see it puts in your position here, and we are shows your live P&L. We're currently up, down $1.39, down $3 now, down $10 now. And now you can see it fluctuating. Obviously, this is going to go up and down. This is essentially how it works. And you could kind of test your skills and take risk-free trades here. And you can see they do give you about, I believe it's 100,000 fake dollars. So yeah, you see $100,014 right here that TradingView gives you in fake money to play around with. And then you can see your order here, right? And keep an eye on it, just like on Femex or Bybit or KuCoin, whatever you're trading on. It's very, very similar. You can see your profit here going up and down. You can see the last price, your average filled price, and then it tells you what side you're on. Are you short or long? And then the symbol. So super, super cool for people who want to take risk-free trades and just practice with some fake money. This is very, very useful. And again, you could do this if TradingView supports the exchange that you like to trade on. You can use this with real money and actually trade just on TradingView. And how cool would that be to not have to go back and forth to your exchange, just look at TradingView and have all your open positions showing live on TradingView. So guys, I think that's all I got for today's video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope I was able to bring some things to your attention that you didn't know about. Biggest thing here is I would recommend, if you are just starting out, I know a lot of people watching my channel are beginners, and they're trying to think about getting into trading, but they hear 98% of traders lose. They're really scared, or they're nervous to dip their feet in. This paper trading feature on TradingView is super, super, super useful if you're a beginner looking to get into trading and you want to kind of learn how to trade and take a stab at it with taking zero risk. Now, other exchanges like Femex and Bybit do have paper trading, but I'll be honest with you, I've tried just about all of them out there. They're very, very buggy. I haven't really found one that is accurate or isn't buggy, right? They're very, very buggy. They're not well done. But as with my experience doing this on TradingView in the short period of time that I have tested it, it seems to be one of the best options as far as paper trading. So if you're looking to take a stab at trading and you don't want to take the financial risk just yet, and you want to just kind of dip your toes in completely risk-free, this is a super, super useful feature. And I hope you guys learned something with our 3 time-saving tips. I know a lot of people see me pull up the object tree and take down most of my TA, leaving only the things that I want to talk about. And they're like, hey, how did you do that? So I told you guys I would make the video to let you guys know, these things that I use to save a little bit of time. So with all that being said, guys, I think that's all I got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.